Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a Friday edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, and Facebook. I am your host, Andrew Romanella, and we got you for the next 25 or 30 minutes. We are sorry for the delay to the start of the show, though, who knows? Maybe it has some more patrons watching or listening along. Nonetheless, Friday morning, difficult start for the kid. Plus, we had some tech difficulties. Hey, we got it handled. We got it figured out. And now we are here to provide you a preview of next week's Masters at Augusta. Something will be happening for the first time since 1994. We got to talk New York Mets baseball because a lot of the decisions and moves were made in the offseason to change the culture of this team. But I'm wondering, is the problem still on the roster? We'll discuss that. And 6 or 7. No, it's not meant to be a joke. Yes, that's the actual number. Games left in the National Hockey League for every single team. And there is a lot on the line. That's what we're talking about today. If you want to get in on the action, it's youtube.com/the Romanellas. You can comment live on the show. That's youtube.com/the Romanellas. Head to youtube.com/the Romanellas. Hit subscribe or social media, The Rome Show 1 on Twitter, X, and Instagram. That's The Rome Show, then the number 1 on Twitter, X, and Instagram. Facebook.com/The Rome Show. The greatest tournament in golf will kick off with its coverage next Wednesday, April 8th in Augusta, Georgia, with the first round of the Masters tournament being played on Thursday. We have the betting odds for the people for that Masters tournament, as well as for the first time since 1994, okay? This is a wild statistic when you really take a second to break down how long this run went on. But with the news yesterday of Phil Mickelson not playing in the Masters and taking some time off from golf due to some family health concerns, praying for him and his family. But with Phil Mickelson announcing he is not going to be in the Masters, and Tiger Woods in all of the legal trouble he is in right now after getting arrested on March 27th, being suspected of a DUI and on pills, he released a statement. If you missed it, Rome Show Podcast, you ever get your podcast, we read it out on Monday. He released a statement saying he's stepping away from the game of golf. So for the first time since 1994, the Masters tournament will be played without Tiger Woods and without Phil Mickelson in the field. That is, in my opinion, one of the craziest statistics ever. 32 straight years where there was one guarantee, and that was those two dudes were playing in the tournament. And I don't think that that is a bad thing, okay? When a changing of the guard happens, the sport in itself is a little weird. Basketball's going through this right now. You're in the changing of the guard from the Steph Curry and LeBron James era into what is the next era of basketball. Only problem is there's an international flair that used to not exist there, and guys are a little bit more prima donna-ish, and There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of good, not maybe great. So those things play into it. But when you're in the changing of a guard in a sports history, it's a very uncomfortable time. And for the last 10 years, we have been in this changing of the guard moment. Unfortunately, it just took us getting away from Tiger Woods, getting away from Phil Mickelson, getting away from Vijay Singh, getting away from Sergio Garcia, getting away from all of these names that you would consistently hear on Saturday, on Sunday in these major tournaments, and then allowing the new talent to grow. And we always knew that there was talent on tour. Justin Spieth came out hot. Rory McIlroy came out hot. Finally finished the career Grand Slam last year with the Masters victory in 2025. But there were flashes of it. There were players here, players there. You're like, oh, could this be the next Tiger Woods? Is this the next generation of Tiger and Phil? Is this that next generation of golf? And it took until Scotty over the last 3 or 4 years to truly get the sport back to what it felt like in the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, where it was Tiger Woods, who was the face of golf, growing the game, making it more popular, allowing people, black, white, or indifferent, to play and feel comfortable playing the sport. Tiger Woods broke barriers, winning his championships. All of those things were the late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s. It was Tiger Woods' dominance. It was putting golf on the map. And there were other great players to challenge him. Now, was he waxing the floor with them for a 6-year stretch? Yeah. But nonetheless, it made the sport great. It is as popular today as it ever has been because of that era of golf. And we sit here and say, well, what is it going to look like without Tiger? Well, you've been living in it for 10 years, but you're finally getting to the point where it is true and it is obvious. And a moment like this, where there's no Tiger in the most important tournament of the year, when there's no Phil in the most important tournament of the year, and you think back on the last 5 years and you say, this thing has been dominated by Scheffler, Rahm, McIlroy, DeChambeau, Koepka for a little bit before he went to live. So you might not get, although Scotty's kind of on it, a true, by the definition of Tiger Woods 2 decades, you might not truly get that. You'll get what Scotty's doing, which is half the amount of time spent as the world number 1, which is the longest streak since Tiger Woods. But I think what you're going to get now is a larger collective of talent, a larger pool of players that can go out and win a tournament, a larger pool of, hey, is he the betting favorite? Sure. But are there a lot of other guys that have a legitimate chance? Absolutely. It really is no longer Tiger Woods, 15 strokes, and then everybody else. By the way, that man's got to get his life together. Do yourself a favor and go check out the body cam footage from the DUI arrest from Tiger Woods. It is obvious he's got something going on in that system. For a guy with that much money and that much prowess to ever be driving a vehicle, ever be driving a vehicle under the influence of anything, is the dumbest thing, I mean, quite possibly imaginable. If you have more money than 99% of the people that exist on this continent, there should be not one person that would not say yes to driving you. There's not one in your entourage. If you wanted to put out a spot to hire somebody, if you called some of your other athlete friends and said, hey, you got a good driver for me? There's not one person in the realm of Tiger Woods' life that would have ever said no. He's got security guards. He's got a manager. How are none of these people able to be his driver? Why would he never? So for me, the stupidity of ever even being in that spot. You want to do your drugs or your alcohol or whatever, dude, that's your life, man. You do your thing. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to tell you what I do in my free time, but Tiger, man, if that's what you want to do in your free time, go have at it, bro. But how are you not smart enough to say, well, there's one thing that can truly get me in trouble here, and that's if I run in with the law while I'm taking these pills. So I should probably have the people that know I'm taking the pills because they're in my entourage freaking drive me around. Just the stupidity is off the charts. Here are those betting odds for the Masters. Scotty Scheffler, best odds to win this tournament. Shortest, as they say, in Vegas at plus 350. Those are the shortest odds to win the Masters tournament since, you guessed it, Tiger Woods in 2013. Rory McIlroy, he's at plus 900. John Rahm's at plus 900. And then you have one guy, Bryson DeChambeau, at 10-1. And then you have Ludwig Aberg, Xander Schauffele, and Tommy Fleetwood, who kind of falter in that 16-1, 18-1, 19-1 range. This sheet also has your PGA Championship, your U.S. Open, and the Open Championship. So this is the overall 2026 season of major championships and where each player's odds fall for each one of those championships. So either A, you want to get in on the action for the Masters next week, let's ride, or B, if you want to start making some futures on the rest of the major schedule, you can do that as well. My early research on this tournament has me wanting to go with Xander Schauffele. Okay, early indicators for me are Xander Schauffele. I'm not making that my official pick. Okay, we are going to wait till next week. I got to do a little bit more golf research. All right, we got 3 days off from CU baseball this weekend, so I'll have a little bit more of a chance to kind of dive into it. Okay, but right now, leader in the clubhouse, to use a golf pun, Xander Schauffele. The leader in my clubhouse for what I'm wearing to the golf course is, you guessed it, figtreegolf.com. While we're on the topic of the Masters, I would assume you're getting yourself right for golf season this spring and summer. And I need you to reaffirm your faith and your love for the game of golf by heading to figtreegolf.com. Use the promo code Andrew Romanella at checkout. figtreegolf.com, promo code Andrew Romanella at checkout. We talk Mets, we talk National Hockey League when we get back from this commercial break.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Yeah. Welcome back into the Rome Show. Hopefully you were on figtreegolf.com during the break, as you should be, or tightentheLugnuts.com. If you do happen to purchase Tighten the lug nuts from Rocky Romanella. You gotta let the man know that I sent you. Maybe we get some residual on that. You get 15% off when you go to figtreegolf.com and use promo code Andrew Romanella. Maybe, just maybe, we can get 15% off Tighten the Lug Nuts, the Principles of Balanced Leadership, the book that'll help you reach your moment. In the offseason, David Stearns and the Mets, they thought they reached their aha moments, and they didn't. Well, at least early returns say they haven't. The Mets currently sitting at 3-4 right now. Not the start the team is looking for based on all of the moves they made this offseason, and it is pretty cut and dry, okay? There are two problems with this ball club, okay? The first one is leadership. The second one is offense. Let's start with this latter first. The offense is atrocious right now. They're in 2-11 as a team. That's not going to do it. But on top of that, you have 5 players in your lineup, 5, that are supposed to be making a difference in your lineup. You should not have certain players be as bad as they are. Bo Bichette hitting 129, 0 homers. Marcus Semien hitting 130, 0 homers. Jorge Polanco hitting 174, 0 homers. Francisco Lindor hitting 130, 0 homers, and 0 RBIs. What? And your prospect starting in right field, hitting 158 with 1 homer. The combination of those 5 players for the New York Metropolitans, outside of hitting essentially a combined 145 as a group, they have 1 total home run and 8 total RBIs. You're talking about a 2-hitter, a 3-hitter, a 4-hitter, a 5-hitter. Polanco, Bichette, Semien, and Lindor. You cannot win at all in the history of time if that's your batting lineup. You cannot have that many players in your lineup hitting the, as the adage goes, below the Mendoza line. The Mets have an offensive problem. That is a problem number 1. A problem number 2 is there's no leadership in this clubhouse. There's no, the team is fighting for each other. There's no, we love each other. I've seen videos surface online of the interactions between Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto. I've seen interactions between Juan Soto and other teammates. I've seen interactions between teammates and other teammates, the gamut of different views of the New York Metropolitans. And at the end of the day, there might be a Francisco Lindor problem. There might be. He's been super inconsistent, especially offensively, since coming to the Mets. It is kind of selfish the way he goes about a lot of the way he plays the game. And I am a huge Francisco Lindor fan, but this is the first time I've ever truly read about he might not be a great locker room guy. Here's some video clips of how him and Juan Soto interact with each other. Doesn't look like they're great teammates, but yet here's Juan Soto, a handshake with every other guy on the team. So clearly maybe it's not a him thing. Lindor's been here for 4 years, and we haven't won jack shit outside the 1 year where it was his best year. So maybe the correlation is there. I don't know if that's me fishing for straws. I don't think that's me giving you a hot take, though it feels a little hot take-ish. I've read some stuff online, and you can only listen to comment sections and listen to fans so long before you're like, okay, this guy's just pissed. But some things some people say are kind of like, oh, I never thought about it that way. And when you look at how bad the team now is, after an opening day win, I literally made this joke to my team. I said, they're going to win on opening day, and then we're going to look up at the standings, and they're 2-4. And you're like, what the hell happened? Well, you look up at the standings. They've lost 3 straight, including 2 to St. Louis, and now 1 last night to the Giants, and they're sitting at 3-4 with arguably the worst offense in the league. To finish, here's your kicker. The staff ERA for the New York Metropolitans right now is a clean 2.5. Okay. So the Mets have produced one of the top ERAs in Major League Baseball to this point. Okay. To this point. But yet they are sitting at not a good spot because of their offense. And 302 now after recalculating from yesterday's game. That is 6th in the league in terms of ERA. And the problem for the Metsies is 3rd in the league is the Miami Marlins. Sandy Alcantara Jr. is like off the charts right now. And then 2nd in the league is the Atlanta Braves. So 3 of the NL East teams are top 6 with their pitching staff. And again, it's only a 7-game sample size. But when your offense is as atrocious as their offense is right now, and you are hitting as a team 205, good for 25th in the league, that is not it. Don't look any further than leadership in the clubhouse and what the offense can do for the New York Metropolitans. Hey, National Hockey League's coming to a close, and it is getting exciting. We have the standings here for you because I wanted to show the people how tight it truly is down the stretch. We'll go to the West first because the West is not as tight as the East. You'll see in the Western Conference, there are 5 teams that still have a chance for the wild card. That would be the Kings, the Predators, the Jets, the Kraken, and the Blues. They are all within 9 points of the San Jose Sharks for that final wild card spot. The Kings are 1 point back, the Preds 2 points back, the Jets 3 points back, and the Kraken 4. And you guessed it, the Blues are 5 points back. The Pacific is tied right now at 87 points between the Oilers and the Ducks. And then the Colorado Avalanche have not run away with the league's best record and not run away with the number 1 seed in the West and have not run away with the Central because the Dallas Stars are also over 100 points. Rocky's mentioned this a bunch. Very top heavy on the Western Conference side because look, when you take a look at the Eastern Conference side, you quickly begin to notice, look all the way down, been making this point for a while, look all the way down to New Jersey Devils at 80 points. Those 80 points would put the Devils in on the Western Conference side as the number 2 wild card spot with a 1-point lead on the San Jose Sharks. Now, I'm not about to get into a Western Conference, Eastern Conference, yada, yada, yada scenario. What I am going to get into, as we've mentioned before, is the OT loss scenario. If you're looking at either the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Ottawa Senators, it'll explain everything you need to know. The Penguins have 38 wins and are in 2nd place in the Metropolitan. The Ottawa Senators have 39 wins and they are in 2nd wild card positioning. Now head down to the New Jersey Devils, who also have 39 wins. So those 39 wins are ahead of the Caps, who have 38, the Flyers, who have 37, the Blue Jackets, who have 38, tied with the Senators at 39, and the Penguins, who have 38. However, the Devils sit 12 points behind the Penguins, and they sit 8 points behind the Senators for a playoff spot because they've lost 34 games in regulation, where the Penguins have only lost 22 in regulation, giving them 16 overtime losses. Same with the Senators, 10 overtime losses. You get the point for making it to overtime. I think this is asinine, okay? If you lose, you lose. At the end of the day, you lost. So because I lost in longer fashion, it counts differently than losing in shorter fashion. I don't agree with that. And as a baseball coach who just went through an extra innings loss yesterday, I would kill for the 1 point in the extras. But it doesn't make any sense to me. You play the game for a win or for a loss. Your wins and your losses should be the only thing that truly dictate what this final scenario is going to be, or just make it a tie. Like, we tied after regulation, we both get 1 point, let's move on. But the fact that there's still a point available for the win and then you get rewarded for the loss technically just because the loss happened after the 60th minute, to me does not make any sense. Either have it cut and dry. Wins and losses, move on. We'll play 1 5-minute overtime and 1 shootout. If you win in that, you get 2 points. If you lose in that, you get 0 points, and we move on. The 1 point lose in overtime to me is beyond asinine. Like, think about this scenario. The Penguins have 6 games remaining on their schedule. The Devils have 7 games remaining on their schedule. So let's say the Devils win 5 of those games. Okay. They'll now have 90 points. Okay. They'll have 90 points and they'll have 44 victories. 90 points and 44 victories. And you might not be in the playoffs because the Penguins, who maybe have only 41 victories at the time, so it doesn't really matter, but they have 98 points because they lost 16 times, but those 16 times got them a point. To me, again, those two do not equate. If I have more wins than a team, I should be in a better position from a playoff standpoint than if I have more, than if they have more losses. It just kind of makes no sense to me. But it does open up, as you see on the Eastern Conference side as well, there are a lot of teams still fighting and in the mix in the National Hockey League. So the next week, the final week of the NHL is literally going to determine so much. I think there's only 2 total teams right now. The New York Rangers, 3 total teams. That's it. 3 eliminated from the postseason. That is wild. This deep into the season, that shows you a lot about the parity in this sport, okay? And it shows you a lot about how much fun this specific season has been. So if there's a time for you to start going, hey, I should start watching some hockey, start with this final week. Because every game's going to feel like playoff hockey. Every game's going to be electric. And it's going to truly get you set up for what's to come middle of April when the greatest postseason gets kicked off, which is the National Hockey League. I hope that you think this is the greatest show on radio, on YouTube, on podcast, whatever, wherever you listen or watch. Make sure you head to youtube.com/the Romanellas and subscribe for me. Some great content on there, not just the Rome Show. So much more than just the Rome Show on youtube.com/the Romanellas. The Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, just search the Rome Show podcast. Follow us on Twitter, X, and Instagram, the Rome Show 1 as well. Have a fantastic weekend. May I say, have an electric weekend. Happy Easter to those celebrating out there. Happy weekend to those that just want to have a happy weekend. Andrew Romanella, I'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Thank you for listening.